Okay, let's move. The share that we have also support us to promote our well-being, as I mentioned. So welfare system is very, very important and very, very, very great. And in our lives as people living in the UK. So let me take us through some of the points that we're going to discuss today. So you're going to have a bit introduction. We're going to have a bit summary definition about the social welfare, just as how, the way that I explain it, what are ideas behind the system, what individual need to know, don't get failed, and if we have opportunity, we ask questions. So I would like to bring, but as I'm going along, if you have any question that you can keep to the end, please, I'm very humble to advise that you raise up your hands and please ask. But if you want to end, if you want us to end before you ask your question, so important as well. So if you go into the Bible says to everything there is a season, a time to be born and a time to die. I'm not so sure. I'm not saying that we're going to learn how we can give more birth or we can die. But here, this part of the Bible tells us that whatever that we are doing in this world, we need to be mindful about time. Be mindful about time. If the time that we want to give birth, for example, we need to know the resources that are around us that could support ourselves and also the children that we are bringing into the system. And sometimes before we realize we are already old and we are dying out of the system, and we could see that we haven't got much preparations, and people or individuals that we are leaving behind will have to have a strategic plan to make sure that a very quality welfare will be done to us, and we go to our graves peacefully. But why someone will have to plan about this? They are part of the social system. So humans have no power over their future, but effective preparation could be a strength to manage risks. So we know that we don't have power over our future. The future is not, if you say future, people might be thinking that it's about 100 years time, but future could be the next minute that is ahead of us. How am I preparing for that future? What resources that I have around to manage that future that is still unknown to me? Some people understand life as holding hands to cross. Is the term here is cross, not cross. Please forgive me. To cross rivers and mountains, but others believe that this should be achieved by individuals. So there is a big argument in the system that we are going to talk about. That some people have argument that listen, life is that we have to cross rivers, mountains, potholes by holding each other's hands. But others say, no. This should be individual. You have to do yourself. No one is supposed to help you. And others are saying, okay, we need a little bit help. So people need to give them just a little bit help, and they can achieve the rest. So this point also informs us, even in the UK, there are areas that are very working class family or people living there. And these ideas, the first one might be sitting there. So they are working class family, they got money, they don't need to go into the system, even beg for food or anything. So we can see that those areas, they are very more conservative. So conservative party, they manage those areas because that's what they believe. And areas that if people over there, they believe that we need to hold each other's hands to cross rivers, mountain challenges. And those are the areas that mostly people who are living there, in terms of finances, wealth, they are not very great. So they believe that we are not great. We don't have that much resources, so we need to support us. And that area, of course, we can see that Labour Party and very present over there. And there are areas that they think that, listen, we need to push people just a little bit, not that much. So if 100% push, they will say, okay, let's give them about 15% or to 20%. They have to do their best, and let them, they control those areas as well. The fact is, let me see, something is coming there. Sorry. There's a black fence. Is it my laptop or someone else? Okay, so let's see. Do you see my screen full? There's something that cover a bit down there. Do you see that?
Yeah, we can see that. Please carry on, carry on.
Yes, okay, so whatever it is, your understanding of life is significant, and that can promote positive or negative effect on your future life. So whatever ideas that you have about life is very important. And those who think that, okay, if I don't have anyone, if the resources are there for those who really need it, not for everyone, they find a way to build their life the way that they don't put their eyes on the other side of reserve resources to support the poor. We all go, if the bus is bus for everyone, but you have to pay before you go in there. I don't have to sit down and request for freedom pass if I don't really need it. So what I'm trying to say here is that the future of individuals are so uncertain, and we need ample preparation ourselves for those futures that we don't know. Okay, so what is social welfare that we're talking about? So just as I was saying, a welfare state is a form of government in which the state or well-established network of social institutions that I mentioned, schools, transport, hospital, social workers, they all there, protect and promote the economic and social well-being of its citizens based upon the principle of equal opportunity, equitable distribution of wealth, and public responsibility for citizens. So what it says that, yeah, it's the system sitting down there. The system it has a lot of roles. First of all, protects and promotes. So protection comes as, what could we do to ensure that people are not really poor? What could we do to ensure that people are getting support? What could we do that the hospital, they got equipment, schools, and the rest? And also promotes. It's not only to find answers to how we can get all those things around, resources around, but also ensure that individuals are getting what they need as far as the system is concerned. Also, it talks about equal opportunities. The system of opportunities, we need to make sure that we all, if we have to use bus, wherever the system is, you can get your bus and no one will ask you to get off from the bus. We know we got laws that can bite those people who behave in that way. So the social welfare, this is the system, is how it works to ensure that our resources are distributed to individuals, and also the reserves are given to those who, for some reasons, they could not top up, they could not do anything to promote their own well-being as far as their impairments and some challenges in their lives are concerned. So before I move on, let me go to the next one. I'll come to the benefit one. Before I move on, when we travel to this country, when we are in the country as people living in, whether we are citizens or we got any, we are on any immigration status, we need to sit down and find out and ask ourselves many questions. Why are we here? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve in the country? And what resources that I need? I met so many foreigners. The city, if I say the citizens or the whites, they have their own program, but mostly among the Black communities. Some people are so smart in the way that they really understand the system more than what anyone could explain. And for that reason, they become so much reliant on the system in the way that the system somehow bites them, cramp them, and for that reason, they remain stagnant within that system. This big terminology that I'm using is so that if you feel that you cannot work for some reason for children purpose and you want to stay at home and get benefits and get government support and get some kind of what do you call accommodation, it's all great. But remember, I mentioned future. There are people who have been in the system and remain on this benefit that they have grown up now. They are in a retirement age that they are not able to receive any state pension, and they did not even contribute to private pension because the state pension is you work and you are given your pension what you contributed to the state finance, and now you didn't work, and even some of them they didn't work that much. So for that reason, if you are not diagnosed with some kind of impairments, you are going to struggle. You are going to struggle. I remember there were families that I saw, and they are very old now. The man, the woman, the man worked a bit and the man died, and the woman was left, was told me was looking after children, but she didn't grown, but did not take any employment. And now she's very old and she's not getting anything and she's struggling. So my advice here is don't just stuck in the system and not moving yourself because you feel that today you are enjoying, but tomorrow that enjoyment will be removed and it will start biting you. Yes, if you need support, you need support. If you really need it, you need support. You need to have your share from our resources. But I will advise you that do not put yourself totally on the social system and getting benefits and stuck in it. There are people from experience, they are struggling. But if you are in the system, for example, you are a single parent, there are other benefits that can support the children and also allow you to work. Yeah, people are smartly doing 16 hours a week so that they can continue to get benefits. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. But if you can work, please find a way to work and contribute towards your pensions and you are also health insurance. So important. So important. But if you think that you really need, that support was saying, the best channel is to, because you need to have you need to qualify the requirements. to get onto the social system. And you can see your GP. GP can also give you a referral notes to go to your local authority. For example, I know that in around Edmonton, the local authority is Enfield Borough Council, something like that. Those who are living in Layton, you've got your own Layton council. I don't know. You need to find it, and those are the individuals that you could go with whatever reasons that you have. You think that you support. If you go there, you explain yourself. But if you feel that you are not sure, you got Citizen Advice Bureau, you got the Age UK. These are other charity organizations that could support you with assessment, and they can inform you whether you qualify for a benefit or not. There are people. Yeah.
Is it all right if you're okay if I can interrupt you a little bit just
yes,
to make
please.
a point on one of the things you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think what we want to do is we want the members to get more opportunity to ask questions.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned about the pension, as you spoke about the private pension and the state pension. It's really, really important, especially if your circumstances is such that you have to do 16 hours and you cannot, as Brother Nana said, and you're still on there getting some benefits to support you. My advice is that please do some private pension so that the little that you are getting, you can put somewhere. If not, what he said is the best thing, take some more job and do this pension, because there's something that they call the triple lock, which maybe whilst the Conservatives might not have been the best, maybe one of the best things they've done since they've been on power is that thing they instituted. So the more you pay into it, if you're working, your employer pays percentage and the state pays that to you as well to support you. But please, if you are, in case your situation is said that you have to do few hours and depend on state for support, financial support, what you are getting, please try to look for some of these private pension companies are really good, and join up to one for your own future. Because when you go on pension, the state pension, even people that have worked hard, if they tell you how much they get on this state pension, it's actually nothing. So I just want to say thank you very much for at that point that you brought about the pension.
Okay, very good. And yes, just as you stress this, we don't know what future holds for us, because God has hidden our futures from us. We could only know when that future is knocking on our doors. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, and everyone's future is different. Some people are physically impaired, mentally impaired. They can't do anything. And you know something? Do not be so assured of yourself that government is going to pick up big money and put in your pocket. No, let me tell you, I don't. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is why I see so some of the old people, if they don't get enough support, what will happen is they'll become so stressed, depressed, and somehow they die so soon. They die so soon. So important. Apart from that, you need to do your health insurance as well. Health insurance is so important. You can be clamped down. It could be anything, stroke, mental, anything, any illness that you will not be able to go back and work. And if you don't have all this preparation towards your unknown future, you're going to start. Be mindful, we cannot put all our burdens on the church. The church has got a big role to play in our lives as Christians. But whilst we are still strong, we need to take our eyes from the church money. when it gets to the point that the church will have to support us, of course, we have bigger obligations. But listen, the church has got the leadership team have got a duty to assess who really needs a church support. The money is not there just to lift up and put in anyone's pocket. The church will direct you to your local authority to make sure that you get your support. So the church could do that. It's not being wicked to anyone, but you need to make sure that resources are managed. So thank you, Max, for that beautiful contribution. A serious thing that we are talking about today, very serious thing. Let us make sure that we understand this. So I was mentioning about how you can maybe source advice if you want a private pension. There are individual organizations that can give you perfect advice. You go to your banks, the bank can give you perfect advice, and they will tell you how much you receive, how much you can put down. There was a lady who was working so hard, was a nurse, working very hard, very strong, and one day he was struck by stroke. I know something because of this advice that we give to people free of charge. Today, he's recovering very wonderfully, but he was given, was it about £700,000 or something like that? Just boom, put in your account, no tax. Even that alone would be a source of medication to heal you. Yeah, boom, inside there, and she's recovering. She could go back again and work, of course, and she got that money. So if anything happens to you and you happen to get £700,000 one day in your account, it's better than not putting anything there. And when that happens, you have to struggle. So as a social worker, I've been meeting so many people in this life, and this preparation that we are talking about was not part and was not on the list of their future preparations. For that reason, when the day happened, they got no plan in hand. Good. And we got the main UK benefit. You got universal credit that they put everything together. That now people they allow people to use this to pay for rent and everything. The what universal credit does it. If you are working, if you are doing 16 hours today or 20 hours, the more hours that you do, if you're under this scheme, your benefit will be reduced. So it reduce. That's what they are using at the moment. So now you know child benefit is now one child or two children. The rest will not get anything. Yeah, system is changing. The time will come that if you have children, even none of them will get any benefit. And you yourself, you're not going to get any benefit. You have to work. If you are job seekers allowance, people lost their job and they struggle to find job for some health reason. They are still at home, cannot go back to work early. If you go to a job center, they can support you with this beautiful support. They've got employment contribution, ESA, New Star Employment and Support Allowance, contribution-based employment and support allowance. So this support also there. People, because of their impairment, they got this support. You go there, the Department of Work and Pension, go through Caesar Advice Bureau, they can explain this to you. So this support are also there. Pension credit, they give the housing benefit. You're living in a house that you feel that you struggle. See your local authority, as I mentioned, Enfield and those Hackney and the rest, they all there. You go and see them. Benefit, housing benefit, they can pay something out of the rent that you pay, or some people will have total qualification. They don't pay anything towards their social housing. You live in a house free. But this is something that most people, especially people who are travel to the country, the foreigners, they rely on housing benefit, they get housing free, but there are snakes around this benefit because when you put yourself in, you cannot go. I'm not trying to give you try to open doors for you to go through and do the same. There are people who are cheating the system, and even some Christians are doing that. They put themselves on housing benefit, and they have what they call a home office status to work. What they do is they go and collect people's what they call work permits or passport, whatever, NIs, and working so that they can get this free. Recently, a lady and her husband were caught red-handed, and the fact is, I think they are giving about £60,000 to pay. If that happened to you and you don't have that money, the fact is you go to jail. And I don't think Church of Christ in the Bonton will go and pick up 60,000 because our sister is going to jail. You have to pay that 60,000 off. It's your mistake. It's your, and to me, I'll call it a sin because you were cheating the state. We're cheating the state. So the church will not stand and tolerate all this. So if individuals who are listening, you are on this system and you are working outside using somebody's we call papers that will be understandable to where so that can be on this. Be careful. Bible says to everything there's a season. One day when you are caught and arrested, no one, no elders or deacons could defend you on this. And even God will, I don't know, God will ask the same question. Didn't you know that you were cheating the state? So please, let us be careful about it. It's good for those who really, really need a mention. If you really, really need that support, go in there and get the support. But if you feel that you're okay today, go and tell them, okay, today I'm able to work. I could pay some of the rent. And what are you doing? I'm working. How much do you receive? I receive 2,000 per. Okay, for because of these reasons, we can reduce the rent that you pay, and probably you pay the rest. Go and be open to them, yeah. And we got discretionary housing payment as well. There are people. It happens because there are people. For some reasons, probably they don't have money to pay. They are waiting for some kind of money to support themselves, or they got properties that they are selling for some reason. It could be anything. Government can pay this, but be careful. In the future, you have to pay that money, so it's not free. Some people have been on this discretionary housing payment, and at the end of the day, they forgot that they will pay that money back, and now it's become a snake inside their own pockets and biting them. Yeah, so support with mortgage interest, they're all there. Council tax support. Yeah, if you feel that for some reason for impairment purposes, you can go to your council, local authority, you can apply for council tax support. Some people they don't pay anything. Some people they get benefits, especially those who are on student visa. If you are a student, or even if you are full time, you are a citizen, and you are going, you are studying. Yeah, you qualify for council tax support. I remember when I was a student, I never paid even 1p. Because my wife was dependent, we were doing a very bit to pay. So you can go there and find support as well. And there are more and more things that you can get from the medical system. So important. But as I said, be very careful. Be very careful. And I will pause here and explain something else. When we come here, some of the things that we could do is to also find out how we can assess the system. The system is not only money or this benefit, but those who are traveling here, you need to understand that you need to find your GP. GP is having your GP registered. So it's also important. Recently, they do that online. If you are not sure, please make sure that you ask from someone who has been in the country for a little bit longer to give you that advice. Yeah, give you that advice you come to the church, where individuals, they can Maxwell, they can Boate, and there are so many individuals there who know the system. They can give you support. Register with your GP, because that GP is also a resource that you have to get your share as well. You need to
Brother Nana,
have.
sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you again. I think you're doing a fantastic job. We've got 40 minutes left. We've got other people on the fly. Maybe they may have some questions
Okay.
or contributions for you, because we want to bring the members in, or some may even have other things to contribute to help so that you can all benefit. If it's okay. If you're not able to finish today, you can continue the next time, but if you can probably give the members the chance to make contributions, because we all need these advices. And I'm glad you just said about GP. Someone may be here, may have the right to register for GP, but may not know. If you don't meet the right people, then things that you're entitled to, you still delay. And as I said, some of us, when we came here, the things that we could have had them within 2 years, but because we didn't get the right people, it took some of them took us over 10 years and stuff. So I think that's the main essence of this meeting. So let's give the opportunity. For instance, people using, sometimes for credit card when you don't even need it. Everyone needs it, but sometimes you misuse it and it becomes a problem for us. We come here, we all have most of us are focused in Ghana, and before we realize things are too late. These are all practical and personal experiences some of us have been through. So if it's possible for us to give the opportunity for others to contribute, if you are not able to finish, then you can continue next week, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. So so if anyone has got any question, any contribution, the door is open. And just as I said, if you have anything, you can raise up your hand, or because I don't see the hands, you can just lift up your voice and say, okay, let me pause here. And if anyone has got any question, please, you can ask, or any contribution, you can make it now, please.
Please, brethren, you see the essence of this. You might not need it, but you can say something that will help somebody. Please,